Did you hear about this, Jack? This is such a weird one. Influencers' surprise engagement blasted as fake over leaked sponsorship pitch. This is such a weird story, man. I saw this headline this morning, and you know me, I got to keep up on what's going on in the influencer space because it's affecting so many. It's aligned. It's inside of social media, which is inside of technology. It's very futuristic. This one, the headline, I was confused. I saw the headline. I'm still like, I don't really know what they're telling me happened here. Of course, doing a little more reading, I figured it out. This influencer, okay, the account is called, what is it? Fashion Ambitionist, around 200,000 followers. This guy, her boyfriend, I guess, proposes to her publicly on social media. She puts the proposal on the Fashion Ambitionist account. Okay, fine. I guess it seems kind of normal. I don't know. This stuff happens on social media. People propose. She posts it. Her caption, what is happening? This guy says, oh, you know, we're not traditional people. We're going to have a fancy wedding, and so on and so forth. But then a document gets leaked. All right, this is where things get spicy. This is where Jack, he perks. His ears, they perk right up. You see, he's perking. That's what Jack perking looks like. This PDF gets leaked. A kind of, what would you call it? A deck, a pitch deck for the wedding that hasn't happened yet, for the trip, the hashtag Love Ambitionist. A one-of-a-kind proposal experience for a one-of-a-kind female ambitionist. And this pitch deck was sent to would-be advertisers, brands that could align themselves with this proposal and wedding experience, but it hasn't happened yet. And she claims she doesn't know anything about this. This summer, Marissa of Fashion Ambitionist will be pulled into a surprise adventure created by the center of her life, Gabriel. He will remotely ask her to take an unexpected and sentimental journey to him, a journey that will encompassing many familiar... Was that a spelling error? I don't... Many familiar stops along the way that offer their own unique gifts. So it's a pitch to sponsor this experience on her Instagram account, of which she claims to have no knowledge of the pitch deck, that it was an actual surprise. You see what's happening here, Jack? She's saying this still today, that she doesn't know what went down exactly. Now, it's important to know, is in this business. She works in marketing for Goop, I believe, which is Gwyneth Paltrow's blog. She has one Instagram influencer and Goop executive. So she's an executive, I believe, on the marketing side for Goop. So she knows about this stuff. She has the connections and contacts. I don't know if her husband does. I guess it's possible he does this without her knowing. But imagine her finding out after the fact that he tried to market and sell their proposal marriage experience without her knowing. How could it be a surprise? How could she not know about the deck? Unless someone's trying to sabotage her. But then what a weird, elaborate sabotage. It is such a bizarre story, but it just feels so futuristic, doesn't it?
Do you think this is the first time an influencer has gone to a brand for something like this? Like, I feel like this must happen a lot.
No. That honestly, once I started to sift through the details, I thought to myself, you know what? This feels like a futuristic approach to all kinds of life events. Like, oh, you know what? Me and my girlfriend decided that we're going to create some content traveling to these 6 different cities, and here's the pitch. Like, once you start commodifying your life and your experiences, what's for sale and what's not for sale? Right? And what's more for sale in this community than the wedding or proposal? That's the top of the food chain for this type of stuff. Now, the weird thing is she's got 200,000 followers. I mean, it's not nothing, but it's also not massive. It's not like a crazy number. So what were they expecting brands to cover on this deal? Like how would these sponsorships look? I mean, it's all so confusing. If you look at the deck, you'll see that it identifies certain Instagram stories that would be available for alignment. But it's a pitch deck. It's essentially saying, hey, we don't really know, but we're looking for brands to get involved with us. He's mapped out a journey to the most beloved. Oh, look at this. Along the way, with the help of Marissa's most beloved brands. What does that even mean?
You're taking the romance completely out of this whole situation. Like, usually what's happening.
Romance?
You know what I mean?
It's dead.
Exactly.
Romance is dead. Look at it. Gabriel will be releasing videos via Instagram to guide the experience. Hashtag. But you want to know something, Jack? I'm going to take a different angle on this. Are these people just being honest? If you go to the Instagram Discover page or the YouTube home feed and it's like proposal, oh my God, and it's got 10, 20 million views. Didn't they do that same stuff just behind the scenes? Didn't their deck not get leaked when they were sitting there thinking, I'm going to get 1 billion views on this? I'm about to propose for 1 billion. Didn't they already commodify their thing? Wasn't the romance killed in that?
For sure.
You know? Yeah, exactly. Kirk says, is this behind, others like Kim Kardashian? I mean, Kim Kardashian, that's an enterprise. It's a whole team behind those things, But I think people, it starts, you watch shows on TV, Bachelor, things like this, and it becomes normalized a little bit. Like, okay, you're videotaping this whole thing. You're making money from it. They have sponsors. Why can't we have sponsors?
Yeah.
We're getting married. They're sponsored by Diet Coke or whatever. Why can't we be sponsored by Diet Coke? And then, like I said to you, what a lot of people who are just regular viewers of YouTube, not creating content, you might not look at YouTube the same way as somebody who's constantly posting on there. But when I go and look at the home feed or the popular page or something, and I see some proposal, I'm like, this is me. I'm just being me right now. I'm like, how could you do that? Mm-hmm. You take this moment right here, you turn into a product that you're trying to sell, get clicks for. It's like, look, we all need clicks. We all want clicks. But when it starts to branch into real life and where that line is and what you're willing to turn into a product in your real life, it gets real squirrely. Mm-hmm. You hear about celebrities, for example, where they have a kid and like the magazines will bid on the first photos of the kid.
Yeah.
Like you get into creepy town real quick. Like, oh man, what am I selling?
Well, it's like you say, when you take something, you give something up. And I think when they're taking the money up front, they're giving up these like special memories they're going to have with each other, intimacy, all these things that like really can bring couples together. They're like, it's being washed over with just money and,
popularity,
likes,
clicks,
yeah.
Broadcast. That's what happens when you broadcast. Once you become a broadcaster, you start to think in these terms of like, how many views can I turn this thing into? Mm-hmm. Now, I've been lucky enough that the content that I make is very independent of my life. So those things are easy to discern, and like I know where the privacy starts and ends and like what's available and what's not. But you imagine you get into one of these popular streams where you're just broadcasting your life or a portion of it, and that line gets blurry.
Yeah.
And you're getting more success the more you're willing to share. And then all of a sudden you're doing this. Then all of a sudden everything's up for grabs. Your kids, your marriage, your whatever, it all becomes a product like reality TV. Look, to each their own, right? It's well within their rights to do it, but it's a weird angle to think maybe they're just being honest.
I do feel bad for them because like we're saying, I think this isn't the first, it won't be the last, but they'll always be remembered as the ones that like were busted for this.
Busted for the pitch deck,
for
sponsors, for the journey to marriage. It's a weird world we're in right now. I'll say it once again, what a time to be alive. You don't know what you're looking at. Really, the key right now when you're on the internet is to assume there's more to the story in pretty much everything you're looking at, that almost nothing is what it looks like or is pertaining to be. There's almost always something more to it when you dig a little deeper. I think the message here is always dig a little deeper.
Yeah.
Just assume it ain't what it seems. It's healthier for you because underneath a lot of those superficial images is this type of thing, this type of work. It's like Photoshop on those images. Squeeze the waist, fix the blemishes, It's the same thing. You think you're looking at something, you're looking at something else. It's a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of decisions and a lot of tactics in exchange for attention and ultimately advertiser dollars. And it gets even more squirrely in the environment in which you can't even draw the line or see the line between life and product, between life and broadcast. But ultimately, since once everybody jumps onto social media in their personal lives and broadcast begins the process of broadcasting themselves, they're now in the content business. Mm-hmm. And that's everyone. And so can you blame them? Can you blame them for monetizing their content?
What if a brand came up to them and say, I'll give you $1 million to break up?
Yeah. Kirk wants a microphone, apparently. He just said, what if the same brand came up to him and said, we'll give you $1 million if you break up? I know that sounds dark, but like you can totally envision a future in which that's possible. Like, hey, this would be good content. Or how about this, Jack? How about the real life aspect doesn't exist at all? The whole thing is actors on social media pertaining to be real couples that are just doing the thing for the purpose of the exposure, for the purpose of the product, for the content. So you will have futuristic romances taking place that are fabricated. It's strictly drama, but it's playing out in a format and a medium where we're used to seeing what we think is real.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying there?
That's scary. It's
there
a scary
it is.
thought. But I feel like it's already kind of happening with celebrities. Like on a subconscious level, like, do you think that some of them get together knowing that it's going to increase their brand? Yeah,
I was making a joke about this the other day, actually, after hockey when we were talking about the Beyonce thing. I'm like, at that level, it's not a marriage, that's a merger.
It's two companies, corporations
that's a merger.
Coming together.
That ain't a marriage, that's a merger.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's too much at play. It's all the mechanical pieces that come into it, all the considerations. You're in the people business, man. Mm-hmm. In the highest level of celebrity, you're in the people business. It's like people are like real estate or stocks or whatever. It's a commodification of the individual, of the human capital. Mm-hmm. Human capital. And that right there got Casper's attention.
Yeah, Casper's all
you want to know something? He's upset about it too.
Yeah. He hates that stuff.
He's more of a traditional guy. Mm-hmm. He's more of a romantic.
Super romantic.
Yeah. Anyway.